Somebody's getting it, somebody's getting my love. Somebody's getting it,
What's going on, guys? I'm back, and before we take a deep dive into what this video is about today, I'd like to let you guys know that there's a way to support me now. I started up a Patreon account. It's patreon.com/MadMaxGuns. I'll put it right here, and then I'll put a link for it below in the description. And as always, make sure you follow me on Instagram @MadMaxGuns. Again, I'll put that right here too, and that will give you behind the scenes stuff. But the Patreon is definitely going to have more volume of content of stuff that I don't want to put on Instagram. Not that it doesn't seem worthy of Instagram, it's just I'll be able to put way more stuff that just doesn't make the cut in my eyes, and little videos and snippets and stuff, because there's way more than what comes out on the social media that I publish. But with that out of the way, make sure you're subscribing for obvious reasons. But what we have here today, as you saw in the beginning of the video and probably the thumbnail, is my new training carbine for 2021. It started off as a lower that I bought when Beto said that, hell yeah, we're going to take your AR15. So I went and bought a couple lowers, and this is one of them. It was sitting in the safe for a while, wasn't getting any use, and I couldn't just let it get wasted away. So it eventually turned into what we have here. Most of the parts were parts bins, whether it's from my parts bins or friends' parts bins, but there's a lot of stuff that I had to do some diving and digging around for, and then stuff that I found on Instagram. We're going to go front to back, talk to you about my experience with it so far. This is like an initial impressions video. I've only taken on 2 range trips. One was like an actual shooting range day, training, getting after, and the other one I was out at my long range, and I was trying to see how far I could take it with an EOTech offhand. I'm not as good as I thought I was. But let's get into it. Up front here, it's an A2 style bird cage, but it's from a Daniel Defense upper that my friend had that we took off a long time ago. It is pinned to a 14.5 Colt SOCOM overrun barrel or surplus barrel that I got from Thoroughbred Armament. Shout out to those guys. They're doing the Lord's work down there. And it is a SOP mod takeoff. I'm sure it got its usage, but it still shoots just fine for me. Haven't done any accuracy testing yet. Like I said, this is just going to be an initial review or overview of this, and then down the line I'm going to do some accuracy testing with some match grade stuff that I have and put some magnification on it. But it's heavy profile, SOCOM profile. If you know anything about the Block 2s and whatnot, it is a thick boy barrel. It's a 1-in-7 twist Colt, typical stuff, high quality barrel. And I'm sure it will shoot just fine. I've seen reviews and accuracy testing where it shoots dimes with not so much magnification, so I'm sure if I throw some magnifications on there, it will do well if I do my part. That is the hardest part of everything. Right here, this might be controversial if you've been a follower of my channel for a little while, but I have a Daniel Defense, I forget what they call it, but it's like a light rail. It is key mod. I still dislike key mod. I think M-Lock is superior. Don't at me. Like, yeah, are they kind of the same thing? Sure, but nobody's making key mod stuff anymore for a reason. It was a 15-inch handguard. I did a little amateur professional gunsmith and chopped it down and then took a grinder to it. See if you can get a close-up of it here, but I beveled it out and everything. I did what I could, and to me it looks pretty good. I got nothing mounted to it right now. I'm eventually gonna get a Rca Scout Light angle mount on it. If the day ever comes that I get into night vision this year, it'll be going on this gun. Like I said, this is gonna be my 2021 workhorse rig. Up top here, got an EOTech EXPS2. I don't do night vision shooting, and even if I did night vision shooting, I'm sure I wouldn't do with passive aiming. I find that kind of defeats the purpose. I'd rather have a D-ball or something up here. But either way, it's the same thing as the XPS3, but with no night vision mode. I might eventually do an in-depth review on it, but there's a bunch out there that you could watch that will say the same thing I say. Awesome optic. The donut of death is second to none. That's why people are starting to rip off of it now, such as Hollow Sun. Field of view is amazing. Battery life is not. That's everyone's complaint, and it's bulky, but I had a hard time finding an Arrow upper, but what I could find was an Anderson upper. It's a square forged upper. I figured for the price, if it's shitty, I'll go out and buy a Colt from Thoroughbred Armament somewhere. But we're about 600, 800 rounds in on this upper, the actual upper itself, and no issues that were the upper's fault. We'll get into some stuff later, malfunctions that I was getting, but again, not the upper's fault. Everything's working fine with it. Inside here, we got a RCA Bolt Carrier, which I believe you guys told me is Rubber City Armament, and they make bolt carriers for pretty high-end, big-name companies like Noveski, I believe. And inside the bolt carrier, it's like an actual issued bolt, replacement bolt that came in the blue packaging that fell off the back of a truck somewhere. It's MP tested. Doesn't say anything about being HP inspected, but it is MP, magnetic particle. If you don't know what that means, Google it. Right here we got a Geisley supercharging handle. If you've seen the Gold Gun video that I did a little while back, if you haven't, go check it out. It is the most obnoxious gun you'll ever see. I had a charging handle fall apart on me, and somebody offered to trade me this charging handle for some Mad Max stickers, like you see here. And shout out to you. Big fan of it. I like the airborne charging handles more because the latches are smaller. But again, this is like a range gun, like a training gun, so it's good for this. Arrow lower, like I said, I had for over a year at this point. That was just sitting in the safe. Lower parts kit is a CMMG. Lower parts kit that I got off of one of the Instagram pages. The trigger is I had a bunch of mil-spec trigger parts laying around, so it's a hodgepodge of those. But that's why I wanted out of this. That's why I have an A2 style bird cage on here. I wanted to go back to basics, like a video that I did a while back, my tan gun, where I went even back to irons, A2, and a mil-spec trigger. I'm trying to take the training wheels off for the most part and just hammer down the basics this year. That's I just want to become a better shooter, don't we all? But yeah, it's a heavy ass trigger. It's pretty close to a one stage. Very distinct pull. There's not a whole lot of creep. Whatever trigger parts I use for it, I'm confident that they're good. It could have been Colt, could have been Daniel Defense. Had lots of stuff floating around, but that's neither here nor there. Down here, I got a BCM, I believe a Mod O with a nice vertical hand grip. This has been on several different guns of mine. You know, this has been getting passed around like a dirty little slut, and I'm a big fan of it. Not much else to say. The one thing on here that I think is a little out of place is the Fortis beveled castle nut and base plate here. I was looking all around on local gun stores and everything because I had everything for the lower but the base plate and the castle nut, and everywhere sold out. I didn't want to order one and wait. I'm impatient like that. So local gun store, all they had was the Fortis, so I got a little bling on here. It's a nice accent for everything else. I believe we got a 6-position buffer tube that I had floating around. Inside, I got it. Yeah, inside we're rocking an H2 and a mil-spec buffer spring. Gotta love it. I'll get into why I think it is a good match for this in a minute. And right here, we got a B5 Sopmod Bravo. I've had this for years and I love it, but for some reason it wasn't on any of the guns that I had set up currently. Ferro Concept Slingster, my go-to for everything. Again, my second favorite is Edgar Sherman's design. If you go with one of those two, you're not going to go wrong. There's plenty more out there, but I think these two guys do it the best. And that seems to be the overview of our gun here, but the only problem I ran into with this so far is I think it's properly tuned to the point where it doesn't like steel case. And we're against some short stroking problems, failure to eject, failure to feed. And I think that lends to the barrel and the H2 being tuned together like they would be for like a Block 2 or something. You put brass case in there, it just chugs right along, and it's nice, smooth recoil impulse as you've seen in some of the clips so far. And while in the great ammo shortage of now 2021, I would like for it to shoot steel case as well. I think that's the price you're going to have to pay for having a great tuned gun that just shoots lights out. And then when I took it out to the long range, I was slamming 200. It's like a 2/3 size man steel target. I was slamming that at 200 and 225 pretty easily. I don't have any video of that, so you're gonna have to take that for what it's worth. I was trying like hell to have 500, or I was trying like hell to hit 500, but between my eyes, there was like an 8-mile-an-hour crosswind that even with my 6.5x47 Lapua, I was holding like, I think it was 1.3 mils left. And so this would have been a holdover and a holdover, and I just couldn't see that far. And I don't think the 55 grain pills that I was shooting at it would have, even if I did hit it, I don't think I would have heard the ting, to be honest. But that's neither here nor there. It takes all the mags well. I was using some GI mags, some EP, whatever the tan mags are, E-mags, which are my current favorite. I got a couple of these E-mags, and then the HK mags, they just slip right in and out. But yeah, they fall free, never have any issues with tolerance, but it's an arrow lower, they're quality, so they should be able to take any mag you throw at them. You may ask why it's white. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and it reminded me of stormtroopers, and I thought there was going to be way more snow on the ground by now. So if you've seen pictures of my 6.5 Creedmoor AR10 that I built, that is a white base with camouflage for winter camo, because I built it in December thinking, you know, snow and stuff, but that's why this is white. It's probably going to stay white. I want it to get beat up, but I stayed with everything, and then I ended up painting it and stripping it, painting and stripping it. I'm a big fan of this. I'm going to rock no foregrip, no hand stop, no nothing. Uncle Tony Cowden says you're a bitch if you have to use one, so I'm taking his word for it. I do need to get a light on here, but because if this is going to be my go-to, I'd like to do some night shooting with it. Stock's great. I've been so tempted to put like a nicer trigger in it because I've been spoiled for the past couple of years of only using like nice 2-stage crispy triggers. But I'm going to power through it, and I'm going to learn how to do more with less. So next trip that I'm going to, you know, next time I do a video on this, it's going to definitely be a quick one. I'm just going to talk about the accuracy of it. But I'm going to put some Black Hills 262 through it. I got some hand loads that worked good in everything else that I've put it through so far. And we're going to see if this Colt barrel that should be able to shoot 262 can shoot 262. But that's what's coming up next with this gun. I got a bunch more coming down the pipe. If you follow me on Instagram, like I said before, you're going to see more of what's coming. And then, of course, on Patreon, I'm going to be dumping a lot of content on there that you won't see anywhere else. If nothing else, you're just supporting the channel. I make these videos not only because I enjoy it, because I do. I find a challenge in the editing and everything, but again, that's a minor detail. It doesn't matter. I like to put out content. Hopefully you guys get something out of it. So if you want to support me that way, that'd be fantastic. I'm working on the website. It's coming. I'm working on the merch. It's coming. So other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about this abomination, abominable snowman. And drop comments below, like, share, subscribe, do all that shit. If you like the video, like I said, like it. If you didn't like the video, as always, eat a dick. And I should have some videos here, subscribe here, all that fun stuff. And I will see you next time. Be good, guys.